Good morning, guys. So let's get back down to it here. CLBR. Just updating my tip ranks portfolios so you guys can see what I've got going on there. Why doesn't it like that? Doing it wrong? CLRB. This one here is. What? Over here, do this, get some tunes. Hopefully you guys can hear the music. What's up, Root Guy? Guten Morgen. Here we go. Okay, so this is portfolio, guys. I want to try to keep this as updated as possible for you, so you guys can see what I'm doing and what I'm up to. Did exit my GameStop position yesterday. So that is out. Grabbed a position in CLRB. Increased my position in IMMP. So I made some moves in the portfolio yesterday for sure. Oh yeah, there's another one that I grabbed too. It was SLRX. I set a price point for myself of 480 yesterday to get out if it hit that. I suspect post earnings we will see a huge sell off, and then the next quarter isn't going to be massive for me. So I took the win. I took the win. I I made 10% on the trade, so not terrible. Not terrible. Yesterday was big for Jimmy. Good morning, good morning, good morning, Techie, Freezer Burn. Good morning, guys. Okay, let's get down to it here. Check out the markets today, see what we're looking at. Green everywhere, all right? I mean, I guess this is what the days are going to look like for the next little bit. Green everywhere. Yeah, I got out. I got out of GameStop. I'll wait for a reentry because through the next quarter, I think we see a decline. But I was right. I took a win. Oil. Why is oil down? Because we had the OPEC meeting, and then yesterday people started lighting up their production again. And it's like, okay, well, I thought we just agreed that we weren't going to do that, but these are countries outside of Saudi Arabia and Russia that are lighting back up. So the glut could grow. All right, let's check and see what's going on. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I'll switch the screen. There we go. Will oil continue to go down? I think that oil naturally is going to see recovery through consumption. Okay. This is not the right album. This is I need something that's got a little bit more energy. I use Epidemic Sound, so it's not possible to get DMCA. It's a service I've paid for a while so that I can create on YouTube. Now that I'm on Twitch, this music is completely. You pay a license to access the entire library, but you can never be DMCA'd. Okay, just going through my briefing stuff here. Did Koifin not update? I'm seeing I'm seeing green here. Green? Green? Hmm. Spy. Oh, Spy 319. All right, all right. Check seeking alpha. Still seeing green on seeking alpha. Oh, pre-market. I sees it now. Still haven't given back the gains from yesterday, though, so that's okay. It's gonna be a good day for AGOs, I think. Okay, get rid of this. Keep this. CLBR. So this is the new one that I entered position in yesterday. CLBR received a fast track designation for treatment of WMLPL. So Waldenstrom's globulinemia. Globulinemia. Man, that's a tough one. Lymphoplasmacytic lymphoma. This is why it's got an acronym because nobody wants to say that. Patients that have received previous treatment regimens. Cancer targeting therapeutic. So instead of you receiving a dose of radiation to your entire body, it's targeted to stem cells, cancer stem cells, and cancer cells. Um, they're already in phase 2. Phase 2 Clover studies done. Phase 1 dose escalation. Okay. So it was responsive in every single treatment, at some degree. It improved performance. Because there's only one option to treat this right now. This provides a secondary option, and that's why it's being fast tracked. That's why there's an orphan designation on it. An orphan designation is always a buzz term that I'm watching very closely for, guys. Um, Moleculin. What is Moleculin looking like here? Price target stays the same. Two at buy, $2 and $3. Still double where it's at. Reiterated 12 days ago. All right, I'm okay with that. We need to get Burlaston approved. All right, so this is what they're seeing COVID do here, folks. This is your lung. Causes this to be engorged, which allows leakage and seepage into the soft lung tissue, which puts fluid into your lungs, causing clotting and inflammation. Man, oh man. Perhaps for FDA approval isn't FDA approval. People want access to a drug that doesn't work. I don't know, man. ACRX had a great day on Monday. What are we looking at pre-market on ACRX? Nothing so far. I mean, this one is just a wait and hold, guys. It's gonna get so much better before it gets any worse. I'll be right back, guys. My water is out. I'll be right back. Okay, 2 seconds. All right. Okay, so ATRX is still looking fine. Agios. Let's go over here. What do we have on here? Let's go in here. Edit watch list. Let's get rid of this. Let's get rid of this. I think I still want DGLY in here, actually. Not D. There. Not AGO. Okay, Solarius gets a new bolt. SLRX. Let's see what SLRX looks like over on tip ranks. All right, ranked as a buy. No price target on tip ranks. Yeah, so Boris, what you're playing is their cash on hand. You're playing their closing down stores to stem the bleeding. You're playing Q4 release of next gen consoles. That's what I like, in my opinion, with GME. I got out on a gain yesterday. I exited yesterday at a win on GME. I'll probably look for re-entry through Q3. I expect it to decline after earnings today. It could possibly go up today as well, depending on how the earnings perform. But for me, I would rather get out of the way of it. I think it will decline either way through the next quarter. So this is the news for SLRX. Yeah, I'm not gonna. For me, it was like, okay, I took the win. I can move these funds elsewhere. Let's do that. So I did. Without looking back, I did. So SLRX is looking good into next week. They've been invited to speak June 17th, 10 a.m. 20-minute presentation, 10-minute Q&A from subcommittee, 1 hour for discussion. Okay, so what the drug does is it's in a phase 1/2 clinical trial right now for rare pediatric bone cancer. So this right here, guys. This is always a big thing that you want to look for, okay? I did exit yesterday, and one of the things that I won't ever do, guys, ever, 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 I won't ever tell you my entries and exits until after they happen. So I came in today and said, okay, guys, well, I entered a position and I exited positions yesterday. What this does is it prevents shadow trading. And I know you guys would love to be able to get in, get out whenever, but yesterday during the market, I exited my position, so I wasn't live with you guys. And then this morning is as soon as I start to reveal what I did. So what this does, it really does prevent you guys from shadow trading. It's another reason why I do my morning stream from 4:30 to 7, so that I'm not actually actively trading in the market while I'm talking with you guys. It's just one of those safety measures that I put in for myself. Now, for those of you that are still in GME, you actually are probably going to get a better exit than I did, because I exited at 480, and I think right now it's up around 5. It's up at 504. So you guys are actually going to get a better exit than I did. But yeah, that will always be the case. I won't tell you guys when I'm exiting. I won't tell you, well, I'll tell you the day after when I've entered a position, and I'll break it down for you. So SLRX is a position that I took yesterday when I exited GME. Yeah, that's it. Like I'm still going to disclose that I've done that with you guys, and you know that I fairly regularly will hop into my portfolio and show you guys what I actually have in holdings. So that's keeping me honest as well. I'm not just making these bold claims that I'm doing things. But yeah. This is pretty exciting actually for me. So pediatric, a few things that you're looking for, guys, in the bio papers when you see announcements. Pediatric is a big one. Orphan is a big one. Fast track designation is a big one. When you see any of those three onto any specific drug, treatment, product, you should take note and read why that is. Okay, guys. In this case, we have a. This is just a subcommittee that's going to take a look at this thing. On Q4, it'll be $8. Yesterday, I told myself, okay, if we hit the 480 mark, I will exit at a profit. Pediatric, orphan, and fast track. Now, anything that is given orphan designation will be fast track, but you can have things that are fast track that aren't orphan designation. Okay? Pediatric means that it's specifically to treat children, and the medicine to treat children has to go through a far more rigorous approval process. The fact that this drug here treats pediatric bone cancer is a huge deal. Look, and this one, look, okay? Solarius is a clinical stage oncology company, blah, 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 blah. It's currently in clinical development for treating Ewing sarcoma, for which it has fast track designation, orphan drug designation, and rare pediatric disease designation. This thing has the green light, do not pass go, hit the NOS button, and fly. This drug is also being developed for a number of cancers with the second phase 1/2 clinical study in solid tumors, prostate, breast, and ovarian cancers. So yeah, that's right. This thing is the whole package. It so it makes it very, very appealing for me. And that you've got a triple package like that with the price being, I think it was $1.18. No, a little bit more than $1.18. I got in yesterday at around 140, I think. Yeah, I got in around here 142. And finished the day at 154. I just think that this has so much potential to move. It was up here around the $5 mark, depending on what the results are that they show. But having that triple designation, I think there's a lot of room to go here. February, this is just the COVID dip, but I'm pretty excited about this one. I think this is another double up. Time and target. Again, I'm going to give you guys 12-month analysis. I don't know what the time and target is. I am in the play on this public announcement that it's doing a presentation to a special committee for pediatric oncology. I'm expecting that to drive the stock up. Um, who knows when it could go? With those fast track designations, all of those, it could go relatively quickly. And these studies, it's already in phase 1, 2. All right. Um, so let's see what's going on. Lantern Pharma. Yeah, we can take a look at Lantern Pharma. What's the ticker? LTRN. It's like pending. So whenever you're looking at a pharma stock, guys, first thing you want to do is go to their website, check out their pipeline. Excuse me. They have a phase 2 prostate cancer candidate. They've got a phase 1/2 lung cancer, preclinical solid tumors. So these don't matter. LP 184, LP 100, hydroxymethyl sulfolidine exploits cancer cells deficiency in DNA repair mechanisms. Multiple cytotoxic effects on tumor cell biology, duct formation, RNA polymerase, stalling and redox protein modification. It demonstrates enhanced sensitivity in DNA repair deficient in vitro and vivo. Clinical anti-tumor activity against a 10 to 12% of patients with multi-drug resistant advanced prostate cancer. Lantern's process to uncover genomic signature that determines potential responders. So this is an 18-month out play. They're still not in phase 3 on LP100, and that's their furthest pipeline. So typically, what you see happen with biostocks, guys, is when they IPO, they're going to start at quite a high price, and then they're going to slowly degrade. Or what they might do is just take an offering right from the get-go when they come out, and their stock is going to drop. And then it's a slow burn until they get news. And then when they finally get news, you're going to see it spike up a little bit. And then they'll finally get news, and it'll spike up, and then it'll decline until phase 3. And then once they finally hit their phase 3 and they're approved, then it goes. Um, so with Lantern Pharma, they don't have anything at phase 3 yet. LP100 is their closest, but they're saying that's 18 months away. So not a huge fan of that. Um, they don't update their news. Their latest news was Feb 2020. 3 months ago on Twitter. So they're not an active social media company. They're on LinkedIn. Hopefully that helps. All right, what else we got going on? Yep, all the time. There are very few people in the world that I'm unable to connect to, so I use this as a tool all the time. I've taken the time to build out my portfolio on LinkedIn. I do have the beta for LinkedIn that allows me to do LinkedIn Live. I've got several published articles on the site, but I can essentially search pretty much anybody. I mean, what do I want to get? Seth Godin? Want a Trump? I already have an invite out to Trump Jr. Let's see if Ivanka's on here. Oh. He's got an email lock on his, which I could get around, but yeah, in the research of a stock, absolutely. So if I wanted to search moleculin, start a company, chief development officer, pending. Um, Waiter was one that I did that with as well. Here, connected to their director of marketing, just a friendly chit chat. Only publicly available knowledge, but yikes! This poor dude went for a bike ride. I absolutely do, Techie. I do see them having good earnings. Yep. So this is the big thing with this that's driving me nuts is when the mob on social decides to tear someone down, they absolutely shred them. But several points throughout this, the police, the original poster, people that posted his address, they all tried to say, "Oh, sorry, my bad, I was wrong." But their "my bad, I was wrong" didn't go viral. Only 12 people saw the tweet. Scary stuff. Social judge and jury all in one. Huh. No. I'll look at the PS5 after the initial order disappears, because the first ones always go immediately, and then you see ridiculous prices of two, three, $5,000 on these systems when you can just wait 6 to 8 months and get it then. So yeah, I'll wait. So you guys, whenever you see news like this drop, if you can get puts at those strikes, it's a potential play. Because what they're doing is they're offering the stock at this price, right? Closing date is June 11th. So if you can find a weekly at this 1550 mark, I think we see this decline today. So it's at 1655. I expect to see this decline. It's going to come down to this 1550 mark. Yeah, yesterday was a good day, so people are trying to get as much milk from it as they can. All right. Maxim resumes coverage of molecular bio at buy PT of $3. So they're still in line to be checked against COVID. I'm not sure. Well, I mean, with 100% rate against it, that's definitely of note for sure. Um, the efficacy of the other drugs that are out there is not high. So what kills me is Sorrento has not ever been halted. That they came out and made a claim that they had the cure was, I can't believe they got away with that crap. Right, economic calendar for the day. Oh, I'm not seeing a ton. Ugh. Maybe we head over here and see what's hot today. Nikola is up to 85.50. Yuck. Yeah, there are different elements of the RNA that people are trying to attack. So Azel's down, Cruise Line's down, BA's down, IVR's down. Chesapeake down to $37 from 69. This. It's this. What's up, Abhishek Rushan? Yeah, these people got burned. This thing is down 45% already this morning. And Nicola's already starting to come down. It was 18, now it's 17. Like, is it just bouncing back and forth here? Let's pull this up, Nicola. Yeah, Chesapeake's down. I mean, it's not crazy movement. I think the current market is overinflated, and we are due for. So I think what we see happen here, guys, is this going to be the line. Let me change this over so you can see what I'm seeing. All right. Let's go to the big sheet. All right. That looks like a decent baseline. I think this is the channel that is actually reasonable for the SPY into potential COVID resurgence. So somewhere around here. So I think that we do need to see this come back down. That 315 to yeah, 315 to. No, I don't want that. Stop that. Um, yeah, so this line here, this 315 line, I think that's a reasonable space to be in for the next 6 months, for it to just hop back and forth between here. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Somewhere in this channel. Once we get news of whether there's a COVID resurgence or a potential vaccine headed into flu season, I think we either see a return to this channel, this 260 to 240 range. Or if it goes the other way, we could potentially see a 330 to 350 range. That's my thoughts on the current market. MIT's down 20%. Look at this. Look at this board. Yikes. Yikes. We still haven't given it all back, but we are definitely down a percent on the SPY. No. Nope. So, guys, the prospectus that I did on Nikola was on their 10K and their 4 year strategy. Their 4 year strategy is to pick up 5 to 8% market share in the Class 8, sorry, I should say Series 8 truck industry. Series 8 truck orders. April order activity 44% down below March, 73% less than a year ago. 73%. So, what they needed to be 8, right, is actually growing. You have to add 75% onto that. So no longer do they need 5 to 8. Now they need 7 to 10% of the market. And there's no way. There's no way that they're going to take 7 to 10% of the market because what you have is a regular diesel truck costing $120,000. You've got the upcoming Tesla trucks costing $145 to $185,000, and then you've got the Nikola trucks that are costing $225,000. You could almost get 2 diesels for the price of one Nikola. No freaking way. There's no way. You are not picking up 10% of the market share on unproven technology that you're shipping from Germany. You have no manufacturing. There's no infrastructure. Like every sign of this is a bad thing to do in the long term is there. Now, people asking about, well, do you trade today? Do you trade tomorrow? Do you trade? I I don't play on a daily. I'm not a day trader. I that's not really what I do. So if you're looking for like, is it good today? Is it good tomorrow? You've got to come to your own conclusions on that. When I read the 10K though, I'm looking at is this a viable prospect 4 years, 5 years, 10 years down the road? And it's not. I don't think it's still around. I think that they have overpromised. They will underdeliver. It will result in an implosion of the stock. They will then do an offering on that. The offering on the stock is going to be disappointing, and away she goes. So, is there money to be made on the daily? Well, clearly, to those of you that played Nicola over the past week and took it from 35 to 88, congratulations. That was a win for you, and I'm happy for you. I am. But when people ask me my opinion on Nicola, it's that it's going to be obliterated from existence. It will no longer be a company. Like, scary stuff. Well, that's interesting. I didn't know I had a Discord link. I don't have a Discord channel, so I'm not sure why there's a Nightbot link for Discord, guys. Um, be careful with that. Okay, good. Yeah, there shouldn't be a Discord command. Um, I'll have to look into why that's there. I love this kid. Have you guys seen this? Love it. They're laughing at him. I'm not laughing at that kid. I think that's genius. He's trying something new. Uh, take a look at that. It's a Seeking Alpha article. Where? I'm not seeing a link, buddy. Techie, throw it in and I'll take a look for sure. Hmm. Not sure how to fix that on. I'm not sure how to fix that on YouTube. Um, yeah, I don't see a way for me to post the link. I like this. Hey, I know that guy. What if you comment on the? If you put a comment on the video, can you do it? Like down here? Okay. I'm gonna keep looking at news. Yeah, Techie, I'll look at it, man. If you post it on Twitch or Twitter or you maybe throw it on a comment there, just let me know what you're gonna do, and I'm more than happy to take a look. Um, Okay, cool. I will read it as soon as I finish that article that I was just reading on. Where did it go? There. Grubhub fees are a big part of the problem, and Waiter doesn't have these. All right. Still got the paperclip kit up to the. Oh, the stream froze. Interesting. Hold up. Voila. I keep forgetting that when you go full screen on Twitter for some reason it just freezes up. Hmm. Good reminder. Well, that article you didn't see was about the food delivery services and how Grubhub and Uber Eats are killing restaurants. But Waiter isn't a part of that. GameStop is scheduled to announce Q1 earnings. Consensus is down 169. Consensus revenue estimate is 1.09 billion over the last 2 years. Jimmy has beaten EPS estimates 36. Um, yeah, so this doesn't mean much of anything to me. Um, so with these estimates, that's well and good. It really is. When they came out with their, I think it's on here. Let me, yeah, with the fees. So what the headline from Uber Eats is: Look, we're saving these restaurants. We're good guys. We're saving these restaurants. Aren't we fantastic? But in reality, what they're doing is the fees are eating up 40% of the profits, which makes it a loss for the business essentially. Um, okay, so preliminary results on GameStop. Here we go, guys. So they expect a decrease in the range of 33 to 35% on global sales. Okay, this is where most people stopped on earnings, and this is where the downward revisions came from. Cash flow of operations expected to be 49 million. Inventory is expected to decline by 43% to 650 million. Net loss is expected to be this to this, EBITDA of this and this. Company into the quarter with 570 million in total cash. Okay, so 570 million cash in hand. Um, Cash and liquidity between 575 and 625 million. What is the market cap on GameStop right now? Their market cap is 323 million and they have 575 million to 625 million cash on hand. This is what should be of interest to you guys. They could buy their own company. They could buy their own company. That's a really solid position. They're going to be okay. It's a great place to be, and this is a big deal. On top of that, guys, when you see things like 85% of U.S. locations, 90% of international locations were closed, people see that as a bad thing. They're like, "Oh no, they weren't open." Uh-uh. They've been doing curbside pickup. They had a 1,500% increase in their curbside pickup and online orders. Uh, the business is just evolving, and they've got the cash in hand to evolve with it. A lot of the stores that closed down because of riots and vandalism that weren't in areas where they were profitable probably won't be replaced. So they're cutting stores and closing stores that aren't performing. They are moving more into online and curbside pickup. We've got Q4 with next gen consoles. They have 575 million to 625 million cash in hand. These are the things that I like about GameStop, guys. Now, I to be fair, my analysis on GameStop is contrary to every other person here. So, my analysis is contrary to Credit Suisse, Merrill Lynch, Ascendient, Robert Baird, Wedbush, Benchmark, Loop Capitals, Telsey, and Jeffries. Like, there's some big names here. Credit Suisse, Merrill Lynch, Jeffries, Robert Baird. Like, these are big names, guys. Big names. But I see this beast up at the $7-8 range. I do. I see it up here. Now, do I ever see it returning to its days of glory up at 30? Not in the next 5 years, but um, up to the $10 range? Yeah, I think that's reasonable. I think that's reasonable. Ooh, short interest. I would like to see what the short interest is on Nikola. Yeah, so I think what you see is today we're going to see it rise. Um, no data available. Um, I think that tomorrow what we see with GME is we see it rise. Or today we see it rise up until earnings. People will profit take tomorrow, regardless of which way it goes. If the profits are good, we may see an initial dump out the morning, and then it will come back to a steady level around the 550 range. If they miss on earnings, I don't think it go down. It goes down that much either, though. I think it comes back down to the 460 range, and then I wait patiently for it to decline through Q3. Q3 results will take it down further, and then you buy in. Well, in my opinion, I will buy in and take it back up on the Q4. That's the plan anyway. That's the strategy. Again, I'm not giving you price points, guys. I'm not telling you when I will enter and exit on this. I'm just seeing that as the pattern is. Today we see it go up into the end of day. After close, we're going to get the earnings results. It will either drop back down to the 460 or it will go up. At the open, it will drop to probably around the $5 range, and then we'll see it go up to 550 on positive news. And then you see it slow degrade into Q3. Q3 results will come out. It will decline because nobody buying video games this summer. They're all saving up for the next gen consoles. Everybody's going to go outside after they've been locked up in captivity. So GameStop is going to decline into Q3. And then that's when the opportunity is there to catch it on the way up into Q4. My thoughts. Hopefully that makes sense. ACRX watching a breakout at 170. John Curry, welcome, buddy. And ACRX. Ooh, another ACRX fan. I like ACRX. Yeah, so with ACRX, guys, it's a wait and watch. All we're waiting for is with anticipation for the Navy Air Force orders and the national stockpile orders, which are supposed to come by end of June or early July. So there is a little bit of a wait on this, but right now, I mean, it's had a decent growth over the last 5 days, right? Like that's not bad. All right, let's check the Twitter feeds, see what's going on here. Vietnam apparently is looking to make a big play into the global market. Greece continues to decline as a nation. Buy local is happening, so this is the death of globalization. Europe's got to go online. That's a no-brainer. UK and Japan are already talking. You better believe that UK and China are talking. Hong Kong's leader wants to integrate with China. All right, Turkey. This is huge. Turkey is doing really well through this, guys. They haven't looked for international assistance. They're doing a really really good job. I'm really impressed with how Turkey has managed this crisis. I mean, we'll see. I'll hold my breath with anticipation. For me, I'm trading the FA on that, right? I I and this is maybe this isn't unique to me, but this is definitely how I trade, and people seem surprised by it. So when I take a look at a stock, when I look at something like ACRX, right, I take a look at it and go, okay, what is the FA that I'm trading this stock on? Why am I trading the stock? Why do I like it? And I go, okay, well, these guys have a replacement for morphine that has been developed by the DoD and is being implemented across all branches of the DoD, including and above and beyond the FBI, the CIA. So you've got Coast Guard, Navy, Air Force, Space Force, Army. I'm missing one. Whatever one I'm missing one. Doesn't matter. And then now the national stockpile. That doesn't include all of the hospitals that will be using this as if not a replacement for morphine. Navy, did I not say Navy? Navy, Air Force, Army, Space Force, Coast Guard. But there were six branches. That's just going to bug me. Branches of the DoD. Divisions. Okay, Okay, Department of Defense, Department of the Army, Department of the Navy, Department of the Air Force, Unified Combatants. Oh, there we go. Thank you. There it is. National Guard. That's the one I was missing. Was National Guard, and I guess Marine Corps as well. So Army, Marine Corps, Navy, Air Force, Space Force, Coast Guard, National Guard. Now, including that the national stockpile. So with national stockpile, you're going, okay, well, this is where they just buy up a whole ton of it so that it's available should they need it. Okay. So Army put in an initial order of 30 million. That's just to get started. That's not as they use it in combat to replace it. So they've got a standing order for this stuff. Marine Corps, we don't know what that looks like, but it's going to be included in all Army kits. I imagine and the same will be true for Marine Corps kits, Navy kits, Air Force kits. So expect, let's say it's 30 million across the board for each of these. Okay, let's say it's, and that's lowballing it, but let's say initial orders is 120 million. I don't know that the Space Force needs morphine, or needs a morphine replacement, but let's say that it does. Okay, let's make this a $10 million order. So we're up to 130 million. Coast Guard could probably use it for nautical rescue, but it'll be a smaller order than these guys. So let's say 10 million. Okay, so we're up to what, 120, 130, 140. National Guard could definitely use a morphine replacement right now with the insanity that's going on. So let's say 20 million there. Okay, so what's that? 120, 130, 140, 160. 160 million just there. Let's say the national stockpile is another 30 million. That's 190 million, right? Morphine market in the US. That's Canada results. So right now we're at 160 mil, okay? Um, okay, the opioid market is estimated to be a $25.4 billion market. Okay. IR short acting opioids. This is what we're looking at here. This is 11 billion total. It looks like it's about a $7 billion market in 2019. Now the big issue is the overdoses and the addiction, which Dasuvia doesn't have, which is what's making it so appealing. Is that it doesn't, it just does not have that. Um, so a $6 billion market for what this does. Um, it eliminates a lot of the concerns around drug abuse, false prescription, street handling of the drug, because these drugs are only to be used in a surgical setting. So they can only be used by in field combat or by uh, surgeons in a surgical setting. So it could be used by doctors in a doctor's office. It could be used by surgeons in an OR or an ER. It can be used by dentists. It can be used by plastic surgeons. It can be used by private medicine. But there's no addiction because the doses are so small and they don't prescribe it to you going home. They prescribe another medication. So this is simply for use in hospital to treat. The beauty of this thing is it's sublingual. So instead of you needing an IV or an injection, it just goes under your tongue. It's got a tool that you just pop a little tablet under the person's tongue and it works. Um, the few doctors that have had their hands on it, because COVID slowed down hospitals being able to get their hands on it, the few doctors that did have their hands on it spoke on the last earnings call and were absolutely blown away. Not only was it as effective as morphine, the patients were not groggy, the patients were not disoriented, they weren't nauseous afterwards, and they were able to be discharged in many cases same day. So what used to be so let's say your grandma slips and falls, cracks her hip, goes into the hospital in the winter. This happens a lot, right? They give her morphine as an anesthetic, and afterwards she's nauseous, she's dizzy, she's disoriented, and she already fell and broke her hip. We don't want her falling and breaking our other hip, so she has to stay in the hospital. And so that patient recuperation takes about a week. So you've got a hospital bed that's locked up for a week, as opposed to now with the Suvia, what he was saying was people that were elderly, people that were overweight and obese, trying to put a needle into an obese person is a hell of a time. So what you got is elderly, obese, people who otherwise can't have injection or IV. Not only are they getting the same level of dosage, typically a single pill lasted for an entire surgery. There were times where they had to administer a second pill, but again, all they had to do was drop another one under the tongue. They didn't have to be conscious for that. It dissolves under the tongue. So that's kind of cool. And then they're able to be released the same day. One of the biggest problems in hospitals is the rotation of the beds, right? Because let's be honest, that's how you're making money. The longer people are in the beds, the more expensive care becomes because those beds become more valuable. There's a higher demand and there's less supply. If you can open up beds more frequently, it actually brings the cost of hospitals down significantly. Et voila. So this is pretty exciting stuff for me. So what I'm looking at with this is I'm going, okay, if there is a let's be reasonable on this, okay? So let's say that there's a 6.5 billion market for opioids right now, and they pick up, what do you say, 10%? Let's say 10%, 650 million, okay? So what we're looking at is 810 million in their next year in initial sales. That's initial sales. That's not restock. That's not if they pick up more than 10% of market share. That none of that. Okay. That's not the pediatric designation. None of that. So 810 million. Let's take a look at the market cap of ACRX. $125 million. That's their market cap. I think I've been fairly conservative in my estimates, and I've ended up at 810 million in sales over the next year. I don't think that this is valued properly. I think that's a big problem. Not a big problem for the stock, a big problem for the market. Now, this is saying, these numbers are saying overvalued, fair valued. ACRX 7, 8, 9, 5. In any case, it's $1.56. So even if you take the average, it's 6.25. This guy reiterated this at a $1, so I'd like to see what his position is. Oh, weird. Didn't bring me to the article. Credit Suisse is $1. No way. No way. Thoughts on APA? I'll get to APA. Somebody wanted me to take a look at ACST. So let's look at ACST. What is ACST up to? So Casti, I remember Casti. They're a Canadian-based company. It's a single product, so that bothers me that they don't have more in the pipeline. Phase 2 studies. Decent success rate in phase 2 clinicals. I continue to say F this. Stay away from Czech, is my opinion. Stay away from Czech. Don't go near it. Okay, Casti's open label randomized 4-way crossover bioavailability study, blah, 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 blah. Bunch of other drugs. Beat its competitor. So that's not bad. There's some good stuff here. The pipeline's just too small for me on a Casti. I don't see the. If I had to peg this, it would be dollar. I mean, second half of June they got a meeting with the FDA, so let's say $1.50. I guess that's not bad. $1.50. So they have a meeting. It's not an NDA filing though. Um, 12-month $1.50 I think is where I could reasonably see this. Gap down in January. It's going to need FDA approval, I think, to break past this 3 line. So that they've got an NDA meeting. An FDA meeting is great, but they need the approval. Yeah, I think $1.50 is reasonable. I think you see this level here. I think this is what it comes back to first. APA. Let's take a look at APA. Guys, at this point, just feel free to shout out whatever you want to take a look at, and we can do that. Apache Corporation. Pre-market, it's down 10%, so it gave back its gains from yesterday. Uh, Jim Cramer likes it. Okay, jerk off, jerk off, jerk off, jerk off, jerk off, jerk off. Questions and answers. This is what you want, guys. This is what you want. I'll do Mac next. This is what you want in the earnings call is when people rip apart what they put out in their earnings and offer their insights. So it's an oil play, shale production. They're talking about abandoning wells. They're talking about getting rid of their shale production. Well, their shale production is going to decrease naturally. African oil drilling. They got 2,500 wells shut in. Okay, so what I'm seeing here is they're shutting down, they're locking down, they're closing production. I think that if you're looking for an oil play, there's better oil plays than this out there. I would take a serious look at Oxy. And I only say that on the basis of if Buffett's looking at Oxy, there's a reason you should too. Thoughts on Mac? Let's take a look at Mac. What's Mac? Macrogenics? No, that's not right. That auto-populated. REIT. Okay, so with REITs, guys, what you want to do is for first off, you want to look at the 6-month price history. Okay, so this thing was worth $25. It's down around 13 right now. It's going to drop a little bit today to let some air out of the tires, around 12. The company owned interest in 52 properties comprising 51 million square feet. That's what I want to know. So what you want to do is you want to go to, if I go to Yahoo Finance, it's going to show me their holdings. Shows me their holders. It's in a bunch of stuff. Mm, Mace Rich ownership. Okay, guys. So here are the investments that Mace Rich has. Um, mall. So the big question with this one, because it's not residential at all and it's completely commercially based, is who asked about this? Lonnie. Lonnie, how do you think the retail sector is doing right now? What are your thoughts on the current retail sector? It's always more fun if we have a bit of a dialogue on this, and I can understand a little bit of what your thoughts are on MAC. Terrible. Okay, so if the retail sector is doing terribly, where are most people going to be ordering their stuff from, even if they are ordering from retail? Are they going to go into a shopping mall right now? Do you think? Okay, yeah, Ross, dress for less. Okay, I could see that. I could see that. So shopping malls, though, do you see people going into shopping malls to make their purchases for things? Because that's really the FA play on this is if you see people going into shopping malls to buy their stuff from retail, this may be a potentially good REIT because you think that these shopping malls are going to perform well over the next little bit. If you don't think that people are going to go into shopping malls in droves to buy their stuff and people are going to continue to buy their stuff online and have it delivered, I personally would think that this would not do well. Okay, so you have to remember, guys. Yesterday, all of these REITs shot up. All of them did. And SPG would be another one that I think is in the same area that is facing the same problems. Okay, so if we look up SPG, Simon Property Group. So see, they've already given it back. Yesterday was an oddity. Yesterday was an oddity. It didn't have anything to do with the actual stock itself. It had everything to do with the market. So what you have to look at is actually the stock itself and how it's going to perform over the next little bit. This one is overbought. Unpaid rent. Let's go to the 1 year. So it's seen a recovery from 50 back up to 95. My issue is this is uh, Simon Property Group. I just want a listing of your properties. See all properties. Okay, so I'm not saying to bail or not. So what I like to do here is teach people to use FA to come to a conclusion for themselves. So let's take a look at their properties right now. Okay. So you and I both agree. I don't think the retail sector is going to do really well here. And guys, I do see your questions about other stuff like MGM, I think MGM is the next one I'm going to do, and I will get to oil. I just want to finish going through this process with Lonnie. So deurbanization is still going to be strong. It's still going to be strong. You're still going to see people moving out and moving away, but delivery like FedEx, UPS becomes more of a play. And deurbanization, guys, for you that don't know, that's something that Martini Rita and I are breaking down. Big shout out to her. The two of us are breaking down several different theories about what the market is going to do. So just want to give her a shout out here, and then I'll keep going on this with you, Lonnie. So let's take a look. You and I both agree that retail's not doing so well right now. Online seems to be performing adequately. So let's take a look at what they own. They own, this looks like an outdoor mall, so that performs a little bit better. This is less so, less so. This is an indoor mall. This is outdoor facing, but Arizona I mean, a lot of these are. I think I've been to a bunch of these actually. They look familiar. Um, this is looking like a lot of indoor mall property. A lot of indoor mall property. And I think that there's a lot of businesses that are not doing so hot right now. And you're going to see this start to hurt in a big way. This is a lot of property. Holy cow. Um, and on top of this, I believe I saw that they've got international property as well. Japan, UK, Korea, Malaysia, Japan, Italy, Spain, France. So Spain, France, Italy, Germany, these are dead in the water. Puerto Rico, dead in the water. Canada, dead in the water. Mexico's not doing so well right now. Netherlands is doing okay. Those should be okay. Yeah. Yeah, my insight would just be it's looking like they got a lot of property and designer outlets, however they want to qualify that. For me, SPG, I just don't see it. I don't see it. Dice, what's up? What's up? It was a crazy run yesterday for sure. That's just it. So those properties are going to degrade. You've got to find people to move in. There's going to be bankruptcies. There's going to be people moving out of the outlets. There's going to be people moving to more of an online presence. People want smaller and smaller and smaller stores. They won't need those big, massive stores anymore. So I think that these REITs that are based in the malls are going to suffer in a big way. Um, it'll be interesting. But that's just my insights. Make your own insights. But I think you can see that process of what I'm going through. Of like, if the RAT's holdings are shopping malls, how do we see shopping malls performing? Well, shopping malls are performing on the basis of how many people, foot traffic, and sales. Right. If foot traffic is incredibly down and people don't even want to be there, if you can even be open as a mall, wherever you are, but let's say that you can be open as a mall, the foot traffic is going to be down significantly year over year, which means the sales are going to be down significantly, which means the people that are in the buildings are going to consider going elsewhere. So that's just the thought process that I go through on that, and that's why that's a big red flag for me. Um, okay. Hopefully that helps, Lonnie. Um, what was the next one? Uh, oh, somebody wanted me to look at Hertz, and then somebody wanted me to look at oil. Oh, MGM. MGM was the one. Yeah. I'll take a look at MGM and then I will take a look at Hertz. Okay, so MGM is a casino play, guys. They reopened. They had a decent weekend. They went up with everybody 10% yesterday, only down 3 here. I think MGM into Q3 is looking strong. People are going to try to get out and about, and the casinos are kind of a fun way to do your nights. Um, Vegas, Detroit, Mississippi, Maryland, New Jersey. Their Asian casinos aren't really an interest to me. On the 1 year, they were up at 30. I don't know if there's a lot of milk left in this, guys. I think we see it passively go up to around the 26 mark, 27 mark. And then depending on what happens in Q4 with the resurgence and how lockdowns operate, I think we could see a massive decline on this again. So be super careful, super tight with casino plays, guys. And I've said this over and over and over again. You have to be aware that there could be a resurgence, it could be a second wave of COVID. And in the event that second wave of COVID comes, this is done. It's done. If you're playing it to the upside, you're gonna get burned on an emergence or a mutation. So just be aware of that, okay, guys. D King over MGM every day of the week. That's my thoughts on MGM. As far as oil goes, let's look up oil news. Oil. Things turn political so darn quickly here. Yeah, no, I don't see oil recovering anytime soon, especially if China is finding massive oil fields and gas fields in its own territory. It's going to cut back on consumption because they're going to just start drawing from their own wells. China doesn't care about the environment. China doesn't care about um, playing nice with the Saudis and Russia and the U.S. If China can produce their own oil, they will. Um, they will. They absolutely will. And people are talking about lighting it back up. Let's get going. Let's open back up on the oil. It's like, no, you guys are still in a massive glut. Um, Not liking the look of oil. Hurts. So this is the big thing to consider here, guys. Carl Icahn, who had a 40% stake in the company, took a run for it. He sees no value in Hertz. So even though Hertz is going up, understand that it's the Robinhood contingent. When a serious investor like Carl Icahn gets out, there's a reason for that. If he saw potential for this to come back up, he would have stayed in. He's been around long enough. Nikola has dropped 8% since we looked at it first thing this morning. It was up 18%. Now it's down to 10% gain. I think the markets are going red today. It looks like everybody had their wins yesterday, but they're. Oh, I'm still holding on to TVIX shares at 178. Do I finally give into the bull market? Okay, so I'm of two minds on this. I don't. Okay, let me pull up the SPY. Let's pull up the SPY here. Huge thank you to all you guys that are following, all you subscribers. I appreciate that. No one wants red, but sometimes I got to be the bearer of bad news. Okay, so SPY 319 and declining. Ooh, 175? Yes, please. What is going on, SLRX? Ooh, yes, please. Go to 175 today. That would be quite kind. I would very much enjoy that. All right. SPY 319. It's not a huge dip, but it's there. I think we could see some downward movement. TVIX is what we're looking at. Okay, so TVIX, guys, is a daily 2 times leverage. It's a bear. Lonnie, is it a bear, ETN? Yeah, it's the inverse. Okay. So it's a 2x leverage inverse of the SPY. So you'll see here on the massive decline, things shot up to 900. You've got TVIX 178. So what you need is for this thing to go, SPY to go back to levels that were around May 10th. SPY on May 10th. So you need SPY to drop back down below 300, okay? So again, let's do that breakdown. What do you think the odds are of the SPY dropping back down to around that sub 300 level? Okay. So, with that said, if you feel like the market is overinflated, let's break that down. Let's take a look. I would agree that we are too high at where we currently are. I mean, we are approaching all-time highs on the SPY again, okay? So we understand the TVIX and where you need to go with the TVIX. So let's get rid of the TVIX. Let's take a look at the SPY. Right now, the SPY's up at 323. All-time high on this was 338. Is that right? Let's go for the year and make sure that that's true. Yeah, so all-time high was 338. We're at 323 coming in. The US is officially in recession now. So we are in recession despite this nice little uptick that we've had. We are in a recession. So we got a recession. 338, 323. Again, guys, I drew the lines earlier today, and if I had to see a decent range, this range looks a lot more comfortable for the SPY to be in for sure. That this channel, and you'll see it repeats here, right in here, and here to the upside of it. I think that this is a little bit low, this 282.90. But I think that this area here that it played in forever, we're talking 6 months, it played in this area of 290-300. I think that might be reasonable. I think that we could see it come down. Now, in the event that we get another COVID resurgence in Q4 and it drops, it's going to drop back down to around this 250, 260 range for sure. If that COVID thing drops. So I think ultimately what you need to come to a decision on is, do you feel that you are willing to risk the weight on TVIX based on the price movement here? Yep. Take into account that we've got elections coming. So we've got Trump elections coming up in the US. That's going to greatly affect the SPY because if Biden gets in, it's a very different animal we're looking at as far as the economy goes. So that's my thought on TVIX. What else are we looking at, guys? I mean, that's always it too. Like, should you cut bait? Should you cut bait? Could you use those funds elsewhere to make more money than what you would make if you had held on to it, waiting for it to decline? That's always a tough question to ask yourself. Apparently, there's a Fed meeting today. I mean, Dice at $1.30. It was great. It is still great at $1.55 though. My East Coast, yeah. Is this another Zoom meeting? I imagine it would have to be. I imagine it would have to be. So you know how painful that is for the Fed. When Vroom comes into the market, I've never heard of Vroom. I would never encourage people to go all in, guys. Never, never, never. So, and just for the sake of transparency, I want to show you guys that I am not all in ACRX. There's my ACRX holding. I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but half in. To be fair, it was 40% of my portfolio. It's just gone up in value, so now it's worth more. Now it's worth 50% of my portfolio. Um, Vroom IPO. So every big win that I take, guys, I'm gonna try to create a Twitch emote for. So ACRX, if we exit at a big profit, is gonna get its own emote. I'm not sure what it's gonna look like yet, but it might be a soldier. I might get a soldier and add that to the list. Um, Waiter was the first big win of the year. What's it? Oh boy, BTRH. I think that should work, right? Yeah. So that's in honor of the waiter win that happened. He's going to come back, I think, in Q4, but for right now, IPO calendar. Nope. No, I don't let it affect me like that. I don't. And this is what I was getting at earlier. I set a price in my mind. I see it. I see where it's supposed to be. When I open up my portfolio and I look at something and it's not where it's supposed to be, it's like, oh, okay, it didn't do it today. All right. And I move on. Because in my mind, it's already there, right? I already see it at where it should be. And I don't play options. That's the other thing. I do not play options. Now, that being said, I did have an options portfolio back in January. I opened it up yesterday to see how it was doing. Apparently, I had 20 options for MRO, and MRO soared yesterday. So I was able to make a gain yesterday on my options portfolio, which is kind of funny. But I just put that back into another stock that I thought was going to do well. I took a waiter call for 250. No, waiter call for $4 for October. Okay, IPO calendar. Vroom is today. Vroom is today. Drop your buffs. And I see no reason to like Vroom any more than Cars or any of the other online sales. Cars is currently priced at. No, not car. Cars. So Cars is currently at $8. That's where I see it going. So Vroom will have the IPO glory today. It's opening at $18. We'll see what it does. But I suspect to see that decline. It's actually a Christmas song. Anything else you guys are watching today? New FDA approvals. Okay, and faster AMPH got its approval. I'll go over here. AMPH. Nikola was up 18% this morning. It is now only up 6. It has fallen 12% since we started at 4:30. I think we see this continue to go down. Every dip gets bought. Ha 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 ha. Right direction. Ha 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 ha. Nikola, as the movie line goes, now you can't leave. Try selling. Good luck. Ha 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 ha. Be really interesting to see as this thing is declining instead of going up what Robinhood's going to do with this. Let's check Robin track for yesterday. PLNH. I like Vroom because of the name too. It's a cool name. Okay, Robin track. I want to see leaderboard. Nikola and Hertz, top of the board. Nikola and Hertz, top of the board. What about on the decrease? CIDM and NVAX and Penn. Space and Roku. Okay. ACB. Okay. Increases. So Nikola up 43,000 new holders of Nikola in I would like to see this on a paper account for a week. I'd like to see you take the top three changes before close, take a short against them on a paper account for a week and see how that performs. Take a short position against let's do just the top three. So take a short position against the top three for a week and see how you would perform. I wonder if there would be gains there. I think GME goes up into its earnings, and then depending on what earnings does, if they have a surprise beat, it will continue to go up. In the event that it doesn't, it will immediately go down, but then we will see a slow decline into Q3 anyway. All right, let's look at PLNH. PLNH. Planet 13 Holdings. What is this? Is that right? PLNH? Is this a pod stock? Chris, is this a pod stock? Please don't be a pod stock. Oh no. Not like this. Not like this. It's definitely a pod stock. My thoughts on PLNH are there is no market for pot. The black market continues to hold dominance in that. You can't trade the black market. Yeah. Yeah, so it's a pink sheet pot stock. I don't like it. No, it's not? Oh, Planet. Okay, so PLNHF is Planet 13 Holdings. Wikipedia is a cannabis company based in Nevada. Company opened its cannabis dispensary. Company operates through Planet 13 Cannabis Superstore and Entertainment Complex. Seems to be a cannabis company. Am I missing something? Is it the medical cannabis side of things that you're interested in with Planet 13? It's definitely a pot stock. Let's take a look at their Q1 financials, see how they're doing. They've got an increase in cash on hand year over year. HST receivable inventories unaudited. Massive increase in liabilities. Extra 3 mil in liabilities. Revenue. So 9 mil gross profit, 8 mil expenses. They made a whopping $500,000 last year. It's all good, Chris. I think it's still good for us to look at this because I think it's important for us to understand that it's not enough for just somebody to say, "Oh, pot stocks." That's not good enough. I wouldn't do that for any other stock. If you named a retail stock, I wouldn't roll my eyes and go, retail. I would do exactly what I'm doing right now. I would go into the business. I would look at the finances. I would say, is this a profitable company? Is this where I want to put my money? So, income from operations after their expenses is 500 grand for. Oh no, this is just Q1. So 500 grand for Q1. That's not bad. So they're going to be close to $1 million in sales. Um, Other expenses, income before income taxes, provision for tax. So now they're down 1.5 million. They lost 1.4 million dollars. Okay, so here's my concern. My concern with this and a lot of the pot stock companies out there is if people are at home not working and not doing anything but playing video games and eating, this seems like the prime time for pot, right? And yet, 1.4 million loss. Worse than last year pre COVID. Either they didn't shift to home delivery and that hurt them, or it's just not a business model. Yeah. So the gentleman who's saying that, I would ask him. I would just ask him what his insights are. I would never just discount another person's due diligence into something. I would love to hear what his thoughts are on to why. So when you guys see me do my bio stocks, I go into actual reports and I break down. This is what I'm seeing, and this is why I like it. It's not an emotional response. It's not, I am so stoked about bone cancer drugs. And I just love it when people come out with bone cancer drugs that help kids. So I don't really care about the finances or its approvals or the FDA. I don't care about any of that. I just like it because I like it. And I think I should put money into it because I like it. That's bad trading. That's always going to be bad trading. You need to trade on data. You need to trade on facts. You need to trade on the reality of the market. You need to trade on what the in the bio sector. You need to trade on FDA. FDA is huge. In other sectors, you need to be trading on their filings, the SEC filings. Edgar is so important, guys. If you're not using Edgar, use Edgar, please. It is a free tool. This costs you nothing. Absolutely nothing. And it's not a big deal. Like it eventually there will be something that comes along in that sector that is profitable. We're just not there yet. The SX and 3 models are doing well. Model Y is facing production and supply ramp challenges, as always the case with new products. Tesla's gonna be late on another product. Wah wah. Digging that waiter, trifecta. Digging that waiter. This is good. Small business optimism beat. Tiffany's gonna have a bad day. If they're not already having a bad day, they're gonna have a bad day. They missed. Yeah, not a huge fan of Tesla for sure. I know Martini's a huge fan of it, but for me, I just first of all, it's outside my price range. Like I trade in equity, so if I ever get to that point where I'm not trading in equity anymore, oh, what's coming from Amazon? Oh, it's sending something I sold. I see. Um, so pissed about this. I ordered this package from Superhero Stuff back in May, like May 7th. It's been a month and it's still not here. Yeah, I don't understand because it was in New Jersey and then for some reason it went back to California. I don't know. Maybe they thought it was Ontario, California, but whatever they did, I don't know. Let's go with USPS tracking. All right, guys, if you weren't aware, let's see if I can find it here. For those of you that lurk on Twitter, I'd love to have you guys join me. I will be on the Wealth Secrets Twitter chat Wednesday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All you got to do is follow the hashtag Wealth Secrets I'll be on there answering some questions about video marketing for financial products. As you guys know, I'm doing this right now here on Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitch. I do help a couple other streamers as far as their marketing goes and how they're working to build their streams out in the financial sector. So I'm excited to be able to hop in here and do this. Very much looking forward to it. If you guys are around 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can check that out. Is Stamps overbought? Stamps is one stock I just can't understand. I just don't get it. Every time I do due diligence into it, I just don't get it. I'm pretty sure she killed her brother and she's taken over North Korea. All I ever see is her face now. I don't ever see her brother. North Korea is not doing well, apparently. Um, yeah, I mean, maybe that's it. Maybe that's what I don't understand is the connection with Shopify, but like it just, the Stamps baffles me. Absolutely baffles me. DraftKings. You like DraftKings, but even in the best rally ever, DraftKings go down every day for a week straight now. Okay, so again, when I look at something, so let's go to DKing here. Charts. Okay, so DraftKings, I had DraftKings at a $40 stock over a 12-month period, okay? So if you look at DraftKings on a weekly chart, you're going, oh no, look at it, it's going down, right? And I agree. I agree. It is most definitely going down. However, if it came back down to this $30 level, that would be okay. This is a reasonable place for this to be. And then as we head into Q4, as we head into the esports competitions and see what that actually does for their numbers, I think that this stands to go back up to a $40, $50 stock. Their analysts currently have it at buy, strong buy, $50 price rating on the top side, hold and buy 35.25. This guy is just outdated. I think he wants to update his analysis. But 35, 32, 48, that 50 range is looking fairly reasonable. 41 average. I had it at 40. Um, that's kind of where I'm at with that. MGM 17, and it's all over the place. Currently marked as a hold. All right, guys, we got 10 minutes. Anything else you want me to look at before we head out of here in 10 minutes? Nope. No, I set my target for something before I take a look at the analysts. I always just like to look at the analysts and see where my opinion on GME is I think we see it rise up into earnings today, and then it's a coin flip on their earnings. I exited my position yesterday on GME and took a profit. DFEN, Aerospace ETF. So 3x leverage anything, I'm going to caution you to stay away from in this market. Things move too quickly and you could lose your entire position. I would stay away from anything 3x leverage. And that's just a personal rule of mine. If it's a 3x, I don't go near it. Um, I'm not going to dig any further into than that. Anything that's 3x leverage, I immediately just won't look at. It's too volatile. In a market that's already so volatile, I just can't. Adobe. I made $600 on it. I made 10% on it. I'll show you. I guys, I want to be as transparent as possible with my trading history here. So let's go down here and find GME. GME 470, 470. Bought at 407, bought at 427, sold at 468. No, that's not right. Yeah, sold at 468. So I mean, I made a profit. I made $600 on it. Ooh, 200 bits. Much appreciated, buddy. Thank you so much for that. Um, yeah, I'm always happy to show you guys that. I'd rather be transparent about what I've done. Historical trades, those don't matter. I can share those with you guys because the reality, I love Adobe. I love what they're doing. Their Adobe experience into CX, UX, and UI is going to be huge. AR, AI, they're doing huge work in that. I think that this is a $450 stock over 12 months. So now let's see where they're at as far as this goes. 450, 450, 375, all the way down to 333. Moderate buy. So I'm on the high end at 450 with Jeffries and UBS. Not out of the ballpark though. I'm still reasonable. I didn't go nuts on that. Baba in 12 months, I think Baba's going to do quite well out of this. I think they break through that 200 threshold. They already did good. 250, 275 is where I would peg it. Yeah. VIB. Viavi. Formerly part of JDS Uniphase. Measurement Assurance Technology Company based. Company measures testing for networks. I'd say 14 on the 12 month, $14. This one is not going to move that much, I don't think. Yeah, I'm right in there. People are saying a strong buy, but they're not predicting a lot of movement on it. 10 cent, I don't know about it. It's a penny stock. It's OTC, so I don't do much with OTCs. Um, I can't trade it. I like it. 10 cent isn't OTC. What's their shoot me 10 cents ticker and I'll check it out. I was pretty sure that it was OTC. Square. Online payments like this are going to go up. At the 1 year, it's up over its 1 year already. I would stay tight on this. I would say 100 for Square. And that's high. I'm on the high end of that. Okay, so TCEHY. Yeah, so it's penny stock. So when I say penny stock, guys, price doesn't affect penny stock. When I say penny stocks, I'm not talking $1. I'm not talking $2. I'm not talking it's 75 cents or 10 cents. I'm talking in the market that it trades on. It trades on over the counter. These are OTCs. These are pink sheets. This is what most people who day trade or are in the trading as a full-time basis will call penny stocks. So OTC 10 cent may not be worth pennies, but it is a penny stock because of its placement on the pinks. It's not on the NYSE, it's on the pinks. Another one that does this is Nintendo. Nintendo's a pink sheet stock as well. Yeah, so here's another one, Nintendo. Nintendo's $51 a share, but it's NTDOY. Whenever you see a five letter ticker like this, it's usually an indication that it's a an OTC stock. So that doesn't mean that there's not value. Nintendo would be one that I see significant gains coming up. Um, I like Nintendo in the long run. Tencent as well. Tencent continues to just grow in position. There's potential here, but there's no requirement for you to be filled because it's OTC. Have I watched Wolf of Wall Street? Yes, and I actually have his book over there that he wrote. Dude's a scam artist, but he's a phenomenal scam artist. He's one of the best salesmen ever to work the market. And what he did was expose how ignorant most people that had their money in the market are. And that's why he was able to win so big. So I'm not opposed to what he did in as much as it was very useful for the market to realize that they had to grow up and they had to educate themselves. He was very useful for that. And he still teaches people to this day how to sell. He still travels and does international speaking on how to sell just about anything to just about anyone. He's very, very smart psychologically. He understands how people think, why they do what they do. And so there's a lot that you can learn from him. Now, as far as what he did with trading, understand that he was never really a trader. He was just a salesman selling a product. And that's what made him different. A lot of fund managers to this day are still technically wolves of Wall Street. They still are just selling a product. They're not out for your best interest or your best gains. They're out there to make money off of the packages, portfolios, and ETFs that they produce. That's where those companies make their money, is on the transaction fees. Sell me a pen. Do you need a pen? Yeah, Way of the Wolf is the book. It's a good read. I do recommend you read it if you're trying to understand market psychology and how, even to this day, especially now with the Robinhood contingent, it's the same thing. All you got to do is sell people a bill of goods, right? And that's what a lot of these companies do, is they sell them a bill of goods knowing that they're not going to go check out their filings. They're not going to check out the data. They're not going to check out the numbers. And that's where it all falls apart. Um, all right, guys. It was an absolute blast today hanging out with all you guys. Yeah, that was the scene from the movie. But the response that he would teach you is like, why sell a guy a pen if he doesn't need a pen? Your first question should be, do you need a pen? Because if they don't need a pen, you're wasting your time and you should move on to the next guy that needs a pen. If you guys sub, I'm always thankful. There's no pressure to do that. I just love hanging out with you guys. I'd be doing this due diligence anyways, just to get a better understanding of what the market is doing. It's great that you guys are here to hang out with. I will catch you guys tomorrow. If you missed the start of this and you want to catch that, I do run a rerun every day as well. So you guys can catch the rerun. Take it easy. I will be back tomorrow morning, 4:30.